Hi everyone, my name's Daniel, and if you're into 360 cameras, then I am the guy to speak to. Today I'm going to show you how you can take your 360 video shot with a Xiaomi Mi Sphere 360 camera and massively improve it, transform it, make it 10 times better using Premiere Pro 2018. I'm going to show you exactly what I do to get the most out of my Mi Sphere footage, and then I'm going to show you a before and after of the video clip that I edit. So by all means, stay tuned and let's get started. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to show you how to massively improve the quality of your Mi Sphere 360 footage using Premiere Pro 2018. So the reason I'm using Premiere Pro 2018 is because it has immersive video effects and editing tools built in to this version, whereas the 2017, 2016, all previous versions didn't have that. Let's start by dragging in some 360 video with the Mi Sphere. Shot this just outside opposite Big Ben, which is kind of being rebuilt, or well, not rebuilt, but just it's kind of falling over, so they're kind of fixing that. That's not why we're here. We are here to change this video, to edit this video. So it was shot in 4K. It looks quite good. I like the Mi Sphere footage. The Mi Sphere shoots quite good quality video in general, but I mean, as you can see, it's kind of bland. There's not much color. So yeah, I'm just going to show you what I do, and you can follow along and use the same settings for your footage if you want. What you need to do is go to first color, and this is basically the main area where you're going to be editing. So you know, you've dragged your footage here, select your footage, and you'll see here, this is where you do some all the color corrections essentially. Now, like I said, my issue with the Mi Sphere is that it's kind of bland. I like colorful footage that kind of pops, that looks exciting. This just looks kind of, you know, dull. It's kind of even gray at the top. This just very dark. You know, it could be better. So what we first do, we look here at the basic color correction. This is where this is where you're going to do most of your editing. This is where it's going to make the biggest effect. So I'm just going to show you like the extremes of what happens. So let's just turn the temperature all the way up, and you can see immediately it's all changed. Temperature, I think the temperature is kind of what I want it to be. I just don't really want it to change that much. The tint as well is basically like, if I change the tint, that really affects everything. I could make it a bit bluer, I guess, but we're going to leave those essentially the same. For the Mi Sphere, now exposure, see how I could basically change it to look like it's in the middle of the day really, and that grass gets a lot brighter. I kind of want this effect without this effect, if you know what I mean. I want the grass to be a lot more greener and visible, but without massively overexposing. So I don't think I'll change it, maybe just slightly higher. Actually, no, we'll leave it, because then you can't see the, you want to be able to see the blue as well. Now, here is where it gets interesting. This is where we can change things for the better. I'll just reduce the contrast, so you can see here, the grass becomes a lot more visible, whereas it doesn't affect much else. Highlights. Now, we're going to probably not change much to do with the highlights, to be honest, because it just makes the sky too bright. So we'll leave that roughly, it's always hard to get it back to 0. There you go, that'll do. Shadows, I'm going to reduce shadows quite a bit, because see how this grass is now becoming more visible. And although the rest of it is becoming a bit too bright now, we can change that in a bit. I leave whites and blacks basically the same. Now, what I can do that's going to have the biggest effect is the saturation. I really drag that up quite a lot to, yeah, quite a lot. So it's a lot more colorful, as you can see already. So that's just take me like 3 minutes. But if we change, you can see it's had quite a dramatic effect. Now you can go back. I don't really like, this is a bit too bright, so maybe I'm just going to reduce that slightly. Yeah, I like that. So that's already quite a dramatic difference. So that's just basic correction. Now I'm going to go to the creative tab. And there's not really much here apart from vibrance and saturation that I changed, because this just makes it look really weird. I don't know what the point of that is. Sharpen, I wouldn't do that either, unless you want to blur your image or just make it look ridiculous. So we're just going to leave that at 0. Actually, no, we could probably just do like 1. Sometimes a little bit of sharpness helps. So yeah, but what you want to change, for me, this is for the Mi Sphere specifically. Remember, this is just for the Mi Sphere. So I'm going to be doing a similar video to this for every camera, and show you the settings that I think are the most important for those cameras, because they each have their strengths and weaknesses. But for me, the weakness of the Mi Sphere is the lack of color and vibrance. So I'm going to drag the vibrance up. So if you go all the way to the top, just to show you like the max, we're not going to leave it there, but it already, you know, you could leave it there. I mean, it's not too bad, but yeah, I think it's a bit much. So it really does make a difference. You go from black or white to very colorful. So we'll leave it, put about up 40, 43. And the saturation does the same thing. Now we could make that go up quite a lot as well. I think we are. So as you can see, already see the buildings are looking colourful, the grass looking very colourful, and that's what I want to, the effect I want. So that's not had a huge difference, but the sky, I want that sky to be a bit bluer. So then you go into these colour wheels. Now, if you haven't never used Premiere Pro before, then you may just want to play around with this. That's literally what I do. You can always undo it. So just literally like go around, see what it does. If you do the maximum, really just change quite a lot. So the shadows are mostly in this area, the green area, the grass. So I would want the shadows to have a slight green tint, but you don't want to do it too much or it will affect the whole image. So you just want to go literally like drag it a little bit over, even just a tiny bit. And it won't make a huge difference, but it makes a little difference, and that's fine. The highlights are in the sky. So, you know, if we this is what happens when you go all the way to the other end. This is what happens if you go all the way to the blue end. You can kind of see what's going on there. It changes the sky color. So I want to do that without having that weird effect. So that means you just do it a tiny little bit, just a tiny bit. I'll try to be more blue. Okay, so let's see what that's done. It's not a huge difference, but it's made that sky a bit bluer. The highlights a bit less white, I guess, and yeah, the grass is slightly greener, which is what I wanted to do. So, to be honest, guys, I'm nearly done already. It's really not that complicated. So, you could, again, play with the curves. I don't really like using this because it's a bit extreme, but you could basically get that effect just by playing with the curves. But I'm just not a fan of using curves, so I'm going to move on from that. And the last thing to look at is the highlights, the color wheel. This is where you can also have some big color effects or changes. Again, shadows are the green areas mostly, but I've already changed it slightly, so I don't want to do too much. I'm just again gonna give it a slight. This may be even a bit too colourful now, to be honest, because you can start to see the road is getting colourful, which is not what I wanted. Okay, we're going to look at this in the VR mode in a minute, and then we're going to see the difference. This is like the flat mode, and then if you select this icon, it changes to VR mode. Now, I don't know why this is so small for me. This should cover the whole screen, or like be a much bigger box, but for some reason it just turns into a tiny little box. But we can maximize the frame, so here we go. This is the edited version. There I am, chilling out. Now, I quite like it. Looks quite colourful. It's not too unrealistic, I think. The sky looks very clear, very nice. The stitching is fine. So, if we go out and we go to the unedited version, so you can immediately see the difference. This is, I think, a lot more bland. So, the grass is just very dull. So, I'm just going to show you quickly the edited version again. I think there's a bit too much of a green tinge everywhere. But like I said, I've just done this very quickly, so I would just go back and reduce the green tinge, and then that would be fine. Say I've just finished, say that's fine for me, and I'm happy with that edit. And I have a lot more footage shot in similar circumstances, shot with the Mi Sphere, that I also want to edit. If you want to keep these settings and you don't want to have to go back and just remember all of the kind of settings you just created in this the color area, then just click here. And or select your footage first, click here and go to save preset, then name your preset, so Mi Sphere. I've already done it, so I'm not going to press OK, but then you just press OK, and then you will have the exact settings for that video in your effects, in the effects panel, and then go down to preset, and here it is, Mi Sphere. So let's test it on a different more footage shot with the Mi Sphere. So here we go. This is a different video shot with the Mi Sphere. Now the reason it's got this black edge around it is because the Mi Sphere a couple of months ago was upgraded, like a firmware upgrade, so it changed the resolution. So the resolution of this is 3840x1920, and the resolution of this, which I shot like 6 months ago before the upgrade, is lower. So this is why you have this black bar. But I just thought it was a fairly similar scene, like color, it's fairly similar colors. So I thought I would just test it. So what you do if you want to make the changes to the next video as you did for your first video, go to your new footage and just drag the preset on top, and there we go. It will do it. It will make the effect, change the settings instantly. Now obviously for each video you may want to adjust because it's not exactly the same, so for this, actually it's turned out pretty well, but maybe I would up the temperature a little bit more because I want, and maybe because there's not so much green, so you wouldn't want the green tinge so much, so I just bring that back, but the highlights can still stay the same. Maybe just bluer. No, there we go. So I'll keep that roughly the same, but yeah. So now if say I wanted to export this, I wanted to render it, so export media, you're on your export screen and you select anything you want. I recommend keeping this at H.264. Now for this I would have to change the resolution because it's a different resolution, but let's just say it's right. Choose usually select maximum render depth and a much higher bitrate than this, so probably like 50 or 60 at least. The difference between the other versions of Premiere Pro is this is all you could do, but for this one you have this VR video, you select video is VR, and that will make all the difference. That means that it knows it's a 360 video, and it won't, it will blend the image together, it will blend the stitching, it will make sure that the top and the bottom don't kind of become weird, have this weird effect where it all kind of creases up and basically ruins the video. So that's what the previous versions of Premiere did, so this version will do it properly just by clicking this. And I hope this has been useful for you to see exactly what you can do to edit your Mi Sphere footage. So like I said, this works for basically any 360 camera if you use Premiere Pro 2018, and I'm going to go through some more that I have to show you the settings that I use in Premiere. And I also have some videos coming up that's going to show you how to use the different effects that are now available in Premiere Pro 2018 for VR videos. So if we go here, you can see Immersive Video. You have all these different effects, and I'm going to show you what these can do and how you can use them. So that's it, guys. That's my Mi Sphere editing video. This is how I edit my Mi Sphere video in Premiere Pro 2018. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you are into 360 video and want to learn how to make yours better, or just want to know which camera to get, or want to see some cool 360 footage, then please subscribe and I will do all of that for you. Good day, guys. I hope this has been useful, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.